Evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our Transformational Healing Seminar. Dr. Dennis Mariano. We come together each week to be better, to grow, and to connect with each other. Would you agree that in today's world that we need more connection? Correct? Is the environment in today's world, is it connectedness or divisiveness? Divisiveness, right? So our goal is to be sure that we take this time to slow things down so we get the opportunity to create a collaborative experience in the community that we choose to be with. In other words, find a family of choice instead of just family you were born into. We get the opportunity then to not only have the experience in this time-space reality, to be in gratitude, but also to have joy in it as well. So with that, we're going to get started right away. For those of you online, if you have any questions, please go ahead and connect with us. Just make comments on there. So our practice mission statement. So we provide the latest and most advanced technology in holistic health and life care. So what does that mean? In the very beginning of our practice 32 years ago, we started out with a baseline, and as the years have gone by, we've always updated our technology. You know how on your computer you get updates, on your phone you get updates? If you don't get updates, you'll be using an iPhone 3. I mean, it's okay, but you know what I mean? You can't download anything. The pictures are, fuzzy. So it's really critical that we have the opportunity to upgrade everything that we do. And that's really what our practice is about. So, our catalyzing statement is to inspire people to live extraordinary lives so they can be a beacon of hope for others. I believe in the world there's a tendency for darkness, and that if we can light each other's candle, we get the opportunity then to be influential in a broader way and be, instead of being a part of the problem, be part of the solution to the problems of this world. Because think about this, do you think that the world is going to become more or less complex as the years go by? Right, so we need a web and connection of community in order for us to be able to have the opportunity to make a difference in each other's lives and live a better life. So tonight we have a special guest speaker, and we're going to welcome her in a few seconds. And her name is Erika Prinz Acupuncture, and she is an acupuncturist. And I'm very excited this evening to learn more about what she's doing in her practice, and she's going to share with us a few things as well. It's going to be a brief seminar, but we will have another series that will invite her back again so we can go deeper. So if you have any questions or comments about anything, please post them online so that we can then give you what you need in the next seminar series. With that, please welcome Erika Prinz Acupuncture.
Thank you.
Come on in, and that's for you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time this beautiful evening to connect with your chosen family. And I love what Dr. Mariano said. It's all about finding the people that you have commonality with and really building that light and spreading what we all know and helping each other rise through knowledge and through support and through community. So we're here together doing that tonight. And there's nothing that's closer to my heart than what I do for my living. It doesn't feel like a job to me. It feels like a lifestyle and a passion based in knowledge and service to others. So acupuncture is my...
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
guys.
all right.
You know what?
That's okay. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
So we're going through acupuncture.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
I want to talk a little bit about me. Acupuncture isn't exactly a common profession that you come across with people, and it wasn't my first profession. So I grew up here in Chester County, and I was a ballet dancer for my whole life. It was my love, and I was very connected to my body, and I think my spirit too, through that movement. And in my early 20s, I was living in New York City working. I didn't pursue dance as a career, but I was in marketing and public relations for pharmaceutical companies, which is kind of ironic looking back. But one day I woke up with so much pain in my body, and so much pain in my knees specifically. And it became a chronic injury that was really unsolvable for Western doctors. And they gave me painkillers, they gave me anti-inflammatories, some physical therapy, and it wasn't working. I was popping pills in my early not popping, it was ibuprofen. It wasn't something crazy like that. But I didn't want to take medicine, and I didn't want to be in a position where I couldn't dance. I couldn't walk up the stairs to my 5th floor walk up in New York City. I wanted to live and be free of pain. So my mother, God bless her, she suggested that I try acupuncture. And it's kind of a last resort in my mind. It wasn't something that we did growing up, but we thought maybe this could help. And to my surprise, to my great joy, it really was what saved me in this pain crisis. And not only did it help me get out of pain, it was the first time a practitioner listened to me. And not only did they listen, they asked me questions about everything going on in my body, my heart, my body, my mind. And of course, we know now that all those pieces fit together for the bigger picture of our health and how we can heal. And this experience as a patient was very life-changing, and it gave me that spark, and that I decided, okay, I'm leaving my career in marketing, and I'm going to graduate school, and I'm earning my master's in acupuncture, and here I am now. 12 years later, after graduating, I had a practice in New York City for 10 years, and now I'm here in Westchester and serving patients. My specialties are pain management and injury, because that's where I started. I'm so passionate about getting people out of pain. Also women's health, fertility, and pregnancy. Again, after becoming a mother, once you go through these experiences, you really understand like how much support we need going through these journeys in life. So I really enjoy supporting mamas. And also I do natural facial rejuvenation and hair rejuvenation, because, you know, there's no need to put all this chemicals in our face when there's natural ways of feeling better and looking better from the inside. So just to cap that off, I've trained throughout the U.S. Acupuncture and traditional medicine is such a lifelong journey of learning. And I studied in China and Nepal in a service mission there. Here's a picture of my office and my family. And here are just some highlights. Here's me in Nepal, in Colombia, serving people that live there. The build out of my massive wellness center in New York, my office, and then just some awards that I've received over the years. Okay, so let's get to the meat of things. Traditional Chinese medicine. That's why we're all here. Some of us know about it, some of us don't, but basically it's been around for over 3,000 years. And this is a complete system of medicine. You can treat the whole range of internal issues and external physical issues. We could really say I could be a general practitioner for you if you chose so. And even some states, traditional Chinese medicine doctors are known as general practitioners. So instead of going to your Western doctor, you could see me. And it's really woven together with philosophy, science, and medicine. So it's very rich. And that helps us look at all the pieces of the person in a different way. We're thinking about your body and your heart in a different way and how that affects your health. And what we do, we prevent, diagnose, and treat disease in body, mind, and spirit. And that's all about restoring the balance. So in Chinese medicine, when there's a symptom, that's telling us that the body's out of balance. It could be any type of symptom, headache, elbow ache, loss of hair. So perfect health means that there are no symptoms at all. And in this medical system, we're using all the pieces of the puzzle of what's going on with a human, and we're helping to tip the scales to get back to that balance of health very gently and effectively. And TCM includes a whole range of different modalities, first being acupuncture, diet, herbal therapy, meditation, physical exercise, and massage. So it's really like a 360 way of treating someone, no matter what their age, no matter their sex, or their physical and mental health. We can use all these modalities. So I'm calling TCM the root because that's the big piece. And then we'll call acupuncture the branch, and it stems off of this medical system. So acupuncture, you may know, here are some needles, these little tiny guys. They're hair thin, And these are my favorite tools I could ever have. So acupuncture is the practice of inserting hair-thin, sterile, and disposable needles into the skin on very specific points to access a person's chi. And in Chinese medicine, our chi is our energy force. It's our life force. It's what's coursing through us to help us move through the world, wake up in the morning, go to bed at night. And we want chi to run smoothly. We don't want any blockages. And once everything is going in the right way, in the right pathways, we can be a lot healthier. And these needles, inserted correctly, help us do that. And they're inserted in energetic pathways called meridians or channels. I have a slide coming up just to show you what that looks like. So it's really a map of the body. Everywhere in our body we have acupuncture points for the most part. And there are 365 points. Those are the basics. Then we have extra points in the ear, points in the foot. So an acupuncturist studies hundreds and hundreds of points and knows their uses, their functions, and how to needle them safely and effectively. That's where in school for 3 years. So there's a lot of memorization and a lot of learning about the body. And in addition to acupuncture, we use these needles, but we also have many other modalities, just like a chiropractor, like Dr. Mariano, has different ways of manipulating the body and helping someone get better. We have different tools. We have cupping. You probably have seen these before. We have massage. We use different herbal topicals for the body. We use something called moxibustion, which is an herb, a mugwort, which is the herb, and we heat it on the body to create different sensations and different movements. Gua sha, which is a scraping massage, and a host of others. Those are the main ones. So here are just pictures of someone receiving acupuncture and then cupping, of course. Okay, and here's a very, very basic picture. It was hard to capture anything accurate enough that really showed what was going on with the meridian system. But as you see, it runs from the bottom of the body, the top of the body, and back again, internally through the organs, externally through the skin, and these are the points and meridians that we're accessing with the needles. So there are 12 primary channels, and then there are many more, as I mentioned, which gives us such a range of access points and tools and ways to treat someone.
It's like a super highway of energy, right?
Exactly, super highway.
It's like being in New York City.
Totally, yes. And then, actually, that's such a great way to think about it, because with any superhighway, there will be blockages, there will be traffic jams, snarls. So we're using those needles to help the traffic move. So that's really what we think about. Like, where is it stuck? Where is it not going? Thank you. And as I said in my intro, what attracted me to acupuncture as a patient was that it was whole person care, as you'll see. I felt seen, cared for, and healed as a whole person, not just my knee injury. And I think that's where a lot of us feel like we're, what's missing in our care is that we're just not a symptom, where there's so much more to the layers of us. And like other holistic modalities, we're looking for a long-term change, not just a short-term like Band-Aid. And we're looking for the root, the cause of things, not just putting Band-Aids on the symptoms. And just without even talking about what you're coming to the acupuncturist for, no matter what, acupuncture helps to do a host of things, like strengthen the immune system, enhance circulation, regulate hormones, increase your energy, help sleep, reduce stress, decrease pain. Like, these are all responses of just with the needles because of the chemical changes that take place. And then on top of that, we're treating your specific issue. So it's really kind of amazing what kind of results you can get with consistent care with the right practitioner. And again, it's safe, it's effective, it's relaxing, and of course it's very personalized because every person is incredibly different. So if I had 5 people come to me with stomach pain, it's pretty likely that there'll be 5 different treatments with different sets of points and different treatment plans. So nothing is cookie cutter here, and that's a part of like getting that whole person care when you walk through the door with an acupuncturist. Okay, so what does acupuncture treat? Everything. I think I saw something on Instagram that acupuncture is like the best general treatment for everything. I'm totally, it's falling out of my mind. The analogy it was, but you can walk in the door and we can pretty much treat it, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's not, because we're looking at your health in a different way. We're thinking about balance, and we're putting together a plan based on how you balance it. So pain relief, of course, any kind of injuries, arthritis, migraines, pre and post operative pain, women's health, which I love treating. Fertility. A lot of people have heard of acupuncture for fertility. Studies show that with acupuncture alone, there's a 35% increase in the probability that like in vitro will work. And then if you add herbs, it's 60%. So just think about that. Like, these are small things you can do and make massive changes. And of course, working with pregnancy and postpartum is so important for women and all the host of other women's health. Psychological. I see in my practice so much insomnia. We all have trouble sleeping these days with our screens. Stress, anxiety, depression. Acupuncture helps the nervous system calm down. We're reducing cortisol in the body. We're releasing endorphins, which are the feel-good hormones. So it's such a like positive cocktail of hormones that are being pumped out in your body with the needles. You kind of can't help but feel a little bit floaty and just good after a session. And then moving to like ear, eyes, nose, and throat, everything in the head, headaches, tinnitus, TMJ, cardiovascular. I see a lot of like high blood pressure these days with my patients. Digestive issues, kind of across the board. And also, we help with dietary theory and other things that are feeding into like how you feel better, especially with digestive. Respiratory, I treated a lot of like post-COVID syndrome. People are having a lot of issues post-COVID, as we know. And then, of course, skin and natural beauty. So it's really kind of an endless list. This is like tip of the iceberg. Okay, quick note about what does Western medicine think about all this? Sometimes when I meet someone and they say, I'm an acupuncturist, they're like, but does it really work? It does, and Western medicine agrees. The Western medical view believes that acupuncture point stimulates this whole central nervous system, which is in control of pretty much everything in the body. So it activates nerves, which send signals to the brain that releases different chemicals, as I mentioned. Endorphins, which are the feel-good hormone, which we get when we're doing something that makes us feel happy, and also hormones that reduce pain. We help to activate the muscles and connective tissue and bring a lot of blood flow to the area. So instead of having like tight, dry muscles, it's flooded with blood and lymph is moving through, and your muscles start to they can move easier in the long term. And then we help with inflammation, inflammation is a factor in so many different diseases. And then all that's put together, it just promotes overall well-being. And this is just, again, a tip of the iceberg of what is happening in the body with acupuncture. And I'm sure if you would like studies, I can send them to you. A lot of clinical trials have been happening with acupuncture over the years, and that is only increasing as the Western medical system is starting to integrate acupuncture more and more and more. Okay, so if you come to acupuncture as a new patient, what can you expect? Number one, it should be so relaxing. People often, we call it like acu-trunk. I've heard before. When you get off the table, you're like, woo, it just feels really good because of all these changes that are taking place with the hormones and chemicals in your body. Oftentimes, patients doze off, and they just feel good when they leave. Of course, the setting helps. We have a nice comfy table, beautiful music, maybe some essential oils. So I'm all about comfort, but also you don't need all that to feel good, but it's nice. And acupuncture shouldn't hurt. However, we don't want any pinching. We don't want any sharpness. However, some points are stronger than others. So if you think about if you had a massage and the practitioner was working on your tight shoulder and you're like, that's the area, it might feel like it's like that type of idea with acupuncture when we're working on those tighter, tender areas to help them get better. But you should always be able to just relax with the needles once they're in. And then I always tell patients to just monitor what's happening over the next couple of days, because treatments unfold. And it's not you get off the table and you feel all the results, but oftentimes, especially with pain, the next day you feel really the results and more of a change. So we're going for a long-term fix. We're not going for a short-term. So all of it makes sense just to keep in touch with your body and what's happening. Okay. And again, acupuncture is cumulative. So with any holistic type of therapy, we'll get more and more results with every session. If you're coming to Dr. Mariano for his treatments, he's never going to say, yes, we're done after this one time. I don't think he would, right?
No.
No. So we're really making changes that are smaller and effective, and they build and build and build. And my goal as an acupuncturist, and I think my colleagues too would say, we don't really want you to have to come back to us. We want you to recover and feel better. So you come to us for a set number of time with your recommended course of treatment, and then we'll reevaluate and kind of send you out in the world, and we're there for you over time if you need to come back. So just generally, people come with if say you had an acute injury, you had a sprain on your arm, I would like you to come back maybe twice a week. That's an ideal scenario for 3 to 4 weeks. But if it was something that's chronic, that's been going on forever, we would say weekly for 4 to 6 weeks, and then we'll reevaluate and hopefully stretch that out where you don't need acupuncture. And not as often. Usually we'll skip a week, we'll skip every 2 weeks, and people don't need me. They start to feel really good.
All right, I'd like to add to that. So
of course, please.
What you're explaining is, Erika, the body, in the Western model of the way the body is, everything's like you got an arm, you got a head, you got a nose. It's very segmental, but acupuncture looks at the body more as a whole. So instead of looking at it like Legos, where you're doing like one thing, here's really what happens, right? So when you go in, you get the acupuncture, something changes, but not one thing changes, many things change. And then you get another session, another thing changes. So it's not linear. So when you're allowing this nervous system, the meridian system, the energetic fields of the body to be balanced, it starts to unwind. So over time, and that's why you need to do repetitive treatments, because what'll happen, think about this, would you ever go to the gym? Wouldn't that be nice if you go to the gym once a year and be buff?
Amazing.
I'd
be looking so great right now.
Wouldn't that be great if you go to take one class of ballet and go to Carnegie Hall?
Absolutely, yes.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like that.
So
nothing works like that.
Right? So you live in this time-space reality where you have to, here's the thing. By the time they see you, their nervous systems and the meridian systems and the energetic fields have been stressed with physical, emotional, chemical stress. Well, that took a while to get to where it is. And think, you can't replace a habit. I mean, you can't get rid of a habit. You have to replace it with a different one. So when you do your acupuncture, you're allowing the nervous system to unwind to the point where it gets closer to the harmony that you were born with. But it's not going to take overnight. So I think that's a good analogy.
That's
don't you think?
I should have this in my office.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Exactly. It's like Rome was not built in a day. So we need to keep on unwinding.
Yeah.
And that's what we think about. There's a saying in the one of the classics in Chinese medicine, we're untying knots, and we think about untying knots with time, and that just takes, and we have all these little knots in our body, and we have to unravel them. And you can think about this when you think about how to approach your body and how to approach healing. Thank you. That's it. Okay. If we have time, which I think we do.
Yeah, I'll be your
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll do one part.
We're going to do some acupressure.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to give people tools. It's just something they can have at home. Something that's free, that's easy, that's effective, that you can use to feel better. So I think we're all a little bit stressed and anxious at times. So I did focus on points that help to reduce stress and anxiety and help calm the nervous system. So you can use these points before bed or whenever you feel that pull on you. Now, acupressure is using the same meridian system as acupuncture, but instead of a needle, you're just using your hand. So I will show you the positioning of a point, or maybe two, and you're going to use your fingers, 1 or 2, to give some pressure to the area. Now, it doesn't have to be super hard. I want you to not bruise yourself, but it should be significant enough that you're feeling some pressure, not super light. We want to whatever you can handle. And you're going to take deep breaths with the point and just be focused on what you're doing. And I can always follow up. I can send you the point locations if you like. Very happy to do that. I have a book that I created for this. And also, you don't have to be stressed about the point location to be perfect. The points are, I learned in acupuncture school, about this size. Like, so you're getting an impact, about a quarter. I think that's maybe a little big. I am very accurate with my needling. But with acupressure, we can be a little bit more relaxed. So we'll get the general idea. You can practice at home and start feeling better. So of course, you can always email me or contact me for more information. I can help guide you through this. So, okay, the first point that I will teach you, and this is such a wonderful point, you can use this on your partner, you can use it on a child. Children respond so wonderfully to acupressure. It's called Yin Tong. It's the hall of impression. If you think about what we're viewing with our eyes, what impresses, what we're seeing, hall of impression. Call this your chill pill to calm down. You don't need, I don't know, a Xanax. You can use this point. So it's located directly between your eyebrows, a little bit lower than what we think of like the third eye area. And you can just take 1 or 2 fingers and press the point. You can do little circles if you like. You're just going to take a deep breath. And you can sit with this. You can use this when you meditate, when you're laying in bed. And I use this almost always with patients who are feeling anxiety. We need to bring the energy down. So we're thinking about, you can focus on this point and just bringing everything down. All that monkey mind thinking, we can help to dissipate it with this point. And then I'm going to teach you one more because these two work beautifully together. We're moving down the body. The second point is conception vessel 19. So the conception vessel runs through the middle of our body. That's the meridian that it's on. And it's called chest center, which is the literal meaning, and that's where it is located. So it's between your nipples and right on your center line. And there's a point there. It's generally tender on people. So if I am palpating on a patient, they'll usually say, oh yeah, that's the point, I can feel it. So this is a wonderful point for anxiety that's coupled with tightness in the chest or shallow breathing. It's also a really beautiful reminder to just soften our heart and soften our spirit. Because oftentimes we're just moving through the world and we have this outer shell around us and we're pushing. Let's just soften a little bit and help the anxiety move away. So conception vessel 17, it's right between the chest. You can use, I like 3 fingers because it's a larger area. Press the point and take a deep breath in. And you can kind of feel everything soften. And this, if you want to do extra, which you can use both hands and connect the points. And just feel the flow of energy and flow of breath through your chest, through your third eye, and back again. So anyone watching who sees this now or down the road, I recommend you use this before bed, whenever you're feeling anxious, and you should definitely feel a difference. I feel calmer already. I should have done it before the talk, but we'll learn. So I just like to thank everyone. We're going to close up now. Please add any questions to the Facebook if you have anything, and we'll share my information. And I would love to be your resource for everything acupuncture and Chinese medicine. Part of my being in the world is to help educate people about this, and I'm very passionate about people learning about this medicine so they can enjoy it for themselves and feel better and really live their best, healthiest lives with this holistic medical system. So I'd like to thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mariano. It's been such a pleasure to be in your office and speak today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, so let's see. And there was another, the pericardium one, so that'll be in our next.
That's the next one.
We're going to have a series of this, people that are online. If you are interested in going deeper, we can have different series of lectures from Erika, so this way she can then share with you more of her knowledge. There's many different points, so we're not going to cover all the points today. We just wanted to get to the point. Sorry.
That's enough. There's so many acupuncture.
So So this is her contact information. Connect with her. This is her email address. You like the way I did that?
Yes.
You can see it pops out more because of the capitals there. So yeah, please connect with her, and she will be back again, so that this way we can invite her to share more of her amazing wisdom and knowledge. So thank you again. So here's the thing. The reason why I invited you, because what you do is very unique, and it's another way of looking at the body. But if you think about the body's a hologram, right? What is a hologram? If you look at your Visa card, you have that bird on there that like shines back and forth. If you have a hologram, the way that works is that you take a piece of that hologram, it contains the whole. So that one piece of the hologram, like the Rubik's Cube, if this was a hologram, that contains the whole. And that's really what acupuncture and chiropractic is. They were born in different eras. Chiropractic is only, since 1895, it was discovered then. However, let's say you go to France, they're going to call this not, what do you call this in the United States? Huh?
A remote.
Yeah, remote control, right? So they're going to call it something else. You're going to have, in the United States, you call it a shoe. In France, we're going to call it somewhere else. So you know what? It's the same thing. However, with just a different way of looking at things. Did you ever hear that analogy about there were 5 blind men, and they were asked to describe what an elephant was? One had a leg, one had a tail, one had a trunk, one had the ears. So they were all looking at the elephant in a different way, but it's still the elephant. And that's really what the holistic approach is. And holistic means the whole. So the body's a hologram, and that's why acupuncture works, and that's why chiropractic works, because the body behaves only in certain ways, right? As long as you follow the natural laws. So how does that then, for those people that are in our practice, connect with what we do? As Erika said, it's your nervous system. Now, in chiropractic, you have the different parts of it, the sympathetic, the parasympathetic, and the immune system, which is 24% of the nervous system. However, in chiropractic, we're looking at physical nerves, correct? And the organs that they control. In acupuncture, you're looking at the energetic field. You know what it's like? In chiropractic, you're looking at the hardware, right? Like your phone, you have the hardware in there. But the apps are the software. Acupuncture works in the software component that you can't necessarily feel here, but it's there. Just look on your phone, open up the Wi-Fi. You can't see any of that stuff. And you get really mad if you're trying to work in the hotel and you have no Wi-Fi because there's no, and that's what meridians are. The meridians are really energetic fields that are travel throughout your body. Well, in acupuncture, they call it meridians because that's what they named it 3,000 years ago. You could call it something else, but you know what? Here's another thing. The problem is when we experience life in physical, emotional, chemical stress, you end up losing this connection. The way we were born, in chiropractic, it's called the safety pin. But you know what? It's the same thing in acupuncture. Head, toe. I mean, there's a frequency and flow to energy in the body, right? So in chiropractic, when you have physical, emotional, chemical stress, what ends up happening then is, on the physical level, the vertebrae then start to misalign. When the misalignment occurs, it's really, really slight, right? But then it inhibits the expression of life. In acupuncture, it inhibits the flow of chi, but it also inhibits the expression of life. And then you decrease function. Now you have the tissue cell not getting the energy that it gets. The red blood cells, instead of dying every 120 days, then maybe they die at 80 days. Nobody woke up this morning and did like, Erika, you better get up at 2 in the morning, not because of the baby, but you got to do inventory. You got, red blood. Your body takes care of it because of your nervous system, right? These are all unconscious things that can happen. So on the study level, back in 1921, Dr. Henry Windsor is a medical record his findings. Cancer, right? And here's what he found. 2 things he found in the spine that's related to whatever that person died of. Either you had a small curvature or scoliosis, right? Or arthritis. It's the same thing. It's like energy blocks, right? On the physical level, on the nerve level, in acupuncture, it's energetic level. But if you really think about it, it's all one thing. But think about what Deepak Chopra talks about, the nature of the universe. If you look at an electron microscope and you go really, really, really small, do you ever see those things? Like you're made out of 99.9% empty space. We're calling it energy field, but really it's all about vibrations. This is a vibrational world. We're nothing but vibrational interpreters, right? What I'm saying right now is sound is a vibration, light's a vibration, everything's a vibration. Touch, taste, smell, it's all vibration. We interpret. Now here's the thing. When there's interference, you can't interpret it properly. It's like not speaking the proper language. That's where pathology or disease happens, because the relationship with the environment becomes garbled. And that's really the whole point of why we do what we do. They go, well, how much, just like in acupuncture, like, well, what's that going to do? I don't feel anything. It's like, well, you just can't necessarily feel everything. By the time you feel something, it's already too late. What are the 4 things that are really dangerous in the traditional model that kills us, that are dangerous, and it's too late by the time you find it? You treat one of them, which is what?
Blockages, imbalances.
Right. So diseases. Name 4 diseases in the United States that kill people.
Heart disease.
Yep. Heart disease.
Cancer. High blood pressure.
High blood pressure. Right.
Obesity. I mean, it's all linked.
Right. And blood sugar issues, diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes.
Right. By the time you find them, it's too late. So in acupuncture and chiropractic, what we're trying to do, especially in our practice, we make sure that instead of waiting until the damage is done, why don't we make sure that there's no damage to begin with and that everything's flowing appropriately. This is a oscilloscope of a nerve. This is back in maybe 40 years ago in the University of Colorado. This is Dr. Chung-Ha Su. They wanted to know how much pressure do you need on the nerve to affect its function, right? So put your hand like this, pretend that's a nerve. Take your pinky, touch it. That's about 40 millimeters of mercury. And they say that if you put that amount of pressure on a nerve, within 1 to 2 minutes, you will diminish the function by 60%. How are you going to know? How do you know your meridians aren't working right? You're not going to know because it's not pathological yet. By the time you find something, it's already too late.
Wow.
Can you see? And that's kind of the way the Western model of reality is, because everything is like A plus B equals C. That's not the way the body works. It's more complex than that, right? So, because ideally, when we were born, we had optimal health and function. Then you get physical, emotional, chemical stress, you get subluxated, your meridians. And here's another cool thing. How do we know? Because we're thinking, our point of view is like, okay, I'm adjusting your spine, I'm touching that area, I'm realigning it. How do you know you're not even touching a meridian? Who makes you? Can you see what I'm saying? Because you doesn't matter. So, and the same thing when you do your work, we do our work. What we do is very different from your traditional chiropractic doctor. We actually do muscle scanning to scan where the body wants to go. Just like you have 5 different stomach issues, different meridians, it's the same thing that we do. Because you can have areas of the nervous system that affects many different things. But when you have these subluxations, nothing works properly. Now your nerve system, the autonomic system, is not functioning properly. But you know what? It's just like somebody taking away 1% of your income once a month. You're not going to know it. Next thing you know, like, hey, the bills are bouncing. Oh, what's going on? But it's too late then. It's like, 2 years later. But why wait? Right? They say 90% of the healthcare dollars, by the way, in the United States are spent in the last 2 months of your life trying to keep you alive. Is that a good way to spend your money? You know it. You know it. I mean, that's all you have to do. That's Medicare.
Yeah.
Right? And they track everything because they don't want to pay for anything that they don't have to. Right? So the body and organ dysfunction, these are the issues that occur. And then you end up losing your health. There's a lack of ease in the body, whether it's meridian, distortion or subluxation in the spine. It's the same thing, right? And then you have the symptoms. But in our society, we only deal with the symptoms and we go, oh, we must be okay. Like, we're far away from where it's supposed to be. So really have that understanding that, ideally you have optimal health. So if you have any questions online, please type in. I'm sure many of you have questions. Again, I'm so excited that Erika is here. We're going to have another series of these. And depending on your questions that you ask us, we're going to go ahead and, put those in a proper sequence so that you can get your questions answered. Our next seminar the next week, Tuesday, is the 5 vital reasons why children need chiropractic care. We're going to go into the studies, case studies, and so on, and also, you know what? The reason why we did this is because we've been in practice for 32 years now. Early in practice, I'd come in, let's say 5 years, and like, my God, this guy's 40 years old. His spine is a wreck. He'd had so many. And it's like you feel so bad and you feel so defeated. And you said, I can't do this for the rest of my career. So I went back to school for 3 more years and received my diploma in chiropractic pediatrics. So we wanted to make sure that the kids, if your kid's healthy and the foundation is healthy, then you don't have to worry about damage down the road that you have regret about. I hate doing that. I just did this yesterday. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to give you the bad news, but this is totally unnecessary. So if you could take care of the kids. Here's another thing. You know how we have to see patients a lot because they're adults? Because the nervous system has been so warped that you have to you can't do everything all at once. I actually was asking our patients, so you know what, I'm probably going to get you guys a shirt that says under construction. Because it's not like, do you ever have somebody like redo your house? It's like, you can't use anything, but it's like a hassle in the beginning, but then you have longevity, once you get it done properly. So that's the reason why we did that with regard to the chiropractic care, to take care of the kids. So in closing, I wanted to share a story with you. So when my brother and I were growing up, so when he turned 13, I said, hey, how does it feel to be 13? You know what he said? Just 3 more years. What happens in 3 more years? You're driving. Well, you know what? In 3 more years, I'll be 16. That's when life will begin. Then I'll be happy. Did that happen? No. Oh, no, my gosh. Oh, I can drive now, but I hate my job. I work at this, super fast food place, and it's just not me. It's like, serving burgers. And when I get a real job, then I'll be happy. Is that it? No. Okay. Maybe when I get a real car, a nice car. So my mom got him like a Honda CRX, those like fancy sports cars and so on. And he had like McDonald's crap in the back all the time. He never changed the oil for more than 3 years because it was given to him. He didn't care. So, no, of course he wasn't happy. Oh, when I finally graduate high school, then I'll be happy. I'll get a job. Oh, I'm lonely. I need that woman, that special woman in my life. That woman's going to make me happy. Do you think that happened? No, but you know what? We end up going to the end of our lives and never been alive the entire time we were here because we're always waiting for the important thing to happen. The important thing is happening now. You know why? All you have is now. And what you just showed us in terms of the touching the points, it centers you and it allows the system to be in the present moment. Because it has been said, the past is a memory, the future is a dream, the now is a gift, and that's why they call it the present. And that's why it's important to be here and now. There is no tomorrow. Every moment is precious and every moment is special. And that's the reason why we do these seminars. You could be doing things, you could be scrolling to Facebook. I'm hoping you are because that's where we are right now. But that's not going to change your life. What's going to change your life is when you connect with people, connect with the community, make a difference. We're all energetic beings. We need to be connecting. And somebody once said the challenge with social media is that the connections are very broad, but they're very shallow or even non-existent. We need to get back to the roots of really connecting the way we used to when we had no phones so that we can touch each other, contemplate life, and be in the moment so that we can then enjoy the gift that we've been given, which is life. So thank you so much, everybody, for this evening, and thank you, Erika, for coming here, and have a good night until we see you again. We'll see you next week on Tuesday.